Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this over with. You wake up, it's a beautiful Saturday, the sun is shining, the birds are singing. For a brief, beautiful moment, you've forgotten who you are, and then it hits you. A cold, damp dread that settles in your stomach. Oh right, Liverpool are playing at 12:30, and you know deep in your bones that your weekend is about to be ruined by a 94th minute VAR decision about an armpit being offside. Being a Liverpool fan isn't a hobby. It's not something you enjoy like a normal, well-adjusted human being. It's a generational burden. It's an affliction. It's a full-time job where your only payment is a bi-weekly spike in your blood pressure and the constant nagging suspicion that the universe is writing a sitcom at your expense. Other fans hope to win. You expect to win, which is infinitely more painful. Other fans get to be underdogs. You're the perpetual almost dogs. You're the kings of the asterisk, the champions of what if, the undisputed heavyweights of snatching a 1-1 draw from the jaws of a 3-0 lead. Welcome to the club. Population, millions. Sanity, dwindling. Why does it suck to be a Liverpool fan? Oh, let me count the ways. Let's start with the one you're probably already whispering to yourself. 1. The 97-point consolation prize. Every August you do it. You tell yourself you won't, but you do. You pull up the fixture list. You look at City's squad, Arsenal's squad, and you find the fatal flaw. You know, you say to your mate, who is also a glutton for punishment, if he stays fit and we sign one more midfielder, this really could be our year. Ah, this is our year. The 4 most cursed words in the English language. For 30 years this was your mantra, a prayer in the dark. Then you finally won the league, and you couldn't even go to the pub. You won the Premier League in an empty stadium during a global plague. It was the most Liverpool thing imaginable. But that's not even the real sickness. The real sickness is the chase. The sickness is 2019. You get 97 points. 97. You lose one game all season, away at the Etihad. You are, by every conceivable metric, one of the greatest teams in the history of English football. And what do you get for it? A pat on the head and a better luck next time, lads, from an oil state that broke football. You'd have won the league in literally any other season in Premier League history, except the one right before it. The sickness is 2022, the quadruple. You were 2 games away from immortality. 2. You were going to win everything. And what did you end up with? The FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. The 2 trophies everyone agrees are the consolation prizes until you win them. You finished the season with a 1-0 Champions League final loss to Real Madrid, where their keeper made 8,000 saves, and you lost the league again by 1 point to City after they did that to Aston Villa. You see, a normal team like, I don't know, Leicester, wins the league, and it's a miracle. It's a story for the ages. When you almost win the league, it's a catastrophic failure, because you're not just fighting the other 19 teams, you're fighting the ghosts of Shankly, Paisley and Dalglish. You're fighting a 118-point Manchester City. You're fighting a Belgian goalkeeper in Kiev who suddenly decides to become a brick wall with really good hair. Your entire existence is a high-wire act performed over a vat of acid, and the rope is greased. You are the Tantalus of the Premier League, forever reaching for the title, only for Pep Guardiola to raise it just 1 point higher. You're not a fan base. You're a case study in psychological torture, and you're paying 80 quid for the match ticket to participate in your own humiliation. 2. The Hangover Part 4. Life after Jurgen. Remember when Jurgen Klopp said he was leaving? That video. Your heart just stopped. It felt like the world's most charismatic, most successful, most lovable dad was walking out and telling you it was for your good. You spent months in a state of performative grief. The last dance was all that mattered. You didn't even care where you finished, as long as you gave him a good send-off. Then, he's gone. And in comes Arne Slot. And you know what? You did the one thing no one thought was possible. You won the 2024-2025 Premier League. You actually did it. You proved you weren't a one-man club. You were back, for about 5 minutes. Winning the league in Slot's first season was objectively the worst thing that could have possibly happened to you. Because it wasn't a success. It was a trap. It was a monkey's paw curse. You didn't get a transition year. You didn't get to rebuild. You got a new, impossibly high standard, and you're now watching it all crumble in real time. Welcome to the 2025-2026 season, the title defence. How's it going? Well, you just ended a 4-game league losing streak. Before that scrappy 2-0 win against Villa, you were 10th. You recently had a run of 6 losses in 7 games. You got booted out of the Carabao Cup by Crystal Palace. You lost the Community Shield to Crystal Palace. You're not a club, you're just Crystal Palace's emotional punching bag. All that slot ball magic from last year, gone, vanished, replaced by what the fans are calling arrogant and disrespectful tactics. You spent a reported $450 million in the summer. For what? For Florian Wirtz to have 0 goals in 15 appearances, for Alexander Isak to be made of glass, for your new manager to play a high-risk, high-wire act that just leaves you wide open, week after week? You're not watching gegenpressing, you're watching a defensive line that looks like it just met in the car park. You're the defending champs, and you're getting turned over by Brentford and losing to Galatasaray. You've become the one thing you always mocked, the noisy neighbours who had one good year and are now collapsing back into mediocrity. You proved you could live without Jurgen, but now you have to live with Arne, and you're discovering that a rebound relationship feels great until you have to actually talk to them. 3. Your own. Just called you a rat. This one hurts. This isn't about stats. This is about betrayal. For your entire adult life, you had one truth you could hold on to. Trent Alexander-Arnold. He wasn't just a player, he was you. He was the local lad from West Derby who lived the dream. He was just a normal lad from Liverpool who happened to reinvent the entire concept of a right back. He was your future captain. He was the one player who got it. And then, he left. He didn't leave for a king's ransom. He didn't leave in a blaze of glory. He ran his contract down, and he left, for free, to Real Madrid. He looked at everything you'd built at the new project, at the armband that was rightfully his, and said, "No thanks. I'd rather go win the real Champions League." You told yourself it was fine. "He's not a good defender anyway," you typed furiously with tears in your eyes. "We've got Connor Bradley." You boo-hooed your way through the summer, insisting you were better off. And then, November 4th, 2025, he came back. He walked onto the Anfield grass, his grass, wearing that disgusting, soulless, all-white kit. And you booed him. You booed your own son, you jeered his every touch, and you know what? He didn't care. He just watched his new team, Real Madrid, play you off the park, even if you snuck a 1-0 win. And just to rub salt in the wound, what was the first thing you saw when you woke up that week? The mural, his mural, the one near Anfield, vandalised. With one word sprayed across his face, rat. This is your life now. You're no longer the sentimental club of You'll Never Walk Alone. You're the club that calls its greatest academy graduate a rat because he dared to want what you couldn't give him. You've become the toxic ex sitting in the dark looking at old photos. You lost the moral high ground. You lost the one player who was supposed to be yours forever. And for what? So you could watch a $450 million experiment implode? You didn't just lose a player, you lost your identity. Alright, let's keep digging. So your past is a museum of almosts, your present is an expensive tyre fire, and your local hero just ghosted you for a Spanish supermodel of a club. What else? Ah, yes. The part of the year that's supposed to be fun but is actually just 3 months of pure uncut anxiety. 4. FSG's big data bind-off. Welcome to the transfer window. For a normal club, a City, a Chelsea, a Newcastle, this is Christmas morning. It's a time of hope, of possibility, of watching your club fix its problems by aiming a fire hose of sovereign wealth at them. For you, it's 3 months of pulling your hair out. For a decade, you were the smart ones. You were the anti-Chelsea. You didn't just buy players, you identified assets. You had Michael Edwards in a dark room, staring at spreadsheets, finding the next great superstar in the two. Bundesliga for $8 million, you sold Coutinho for $142 million and bought an entire spine. You were Moneyball, you were geniuses. Except, being the smart club is exhausting. It means that for 5 years, you watched your midfield trio of Henderson, Fabinho and Wijnaldum run themselves into dust, and you did nothing. You screamed, you begged, you pleaded for a new midfielder. Just one. Anyone. And what did you get? The numbers don't support it. You got Arthur Melo on loan, a man who played 13 minutes and whose greatest contribution was getting injured. You had to watch City by Haaland while you were being told Naby Keita just needed time. Then the model breaks, the geniuses leave, and the new regime, or rather the old genius Michael Edwards, is back. decides to change the entire philosophy. The old policy. We only buy perfect fits. The new policy. Take all the money. I don't care. Buy shiny things. You finally got what you wanted. FSG opened the war chest. And it's a catastrophe. You spent 450 million. You didn't just buy a midfielder, you bought all of them. You bought Florian Wirtz, a generational talent who has 0 goals and looks like he's never seen his teammates before. You bought Alexander Isak, a brilliant striker, who, shocker, is permanently injured. You're the guy who complained for years that your Toyota was too boring, so you sold it, took out a loan, and bought 3 Lamborghinis, only to discover you can't drive stick and the insurance is bankrupting you. There is no in-between. You're either a penny-pinching hedge fund that refuses to buy a defender when you have no defenders, or you're a drunken sailor on shore leave throwing cash at anyone who's had a good YouTube compilation. You're not a club with a transfer policy. You're a club having a violent mood swing, and you're the one who has to watch this 450 million experiment lose 3-0 at home to Crystal Palace. 5. Your stadium is a metaphor. Anfield, the fortress, the spiritual home of European football, a place so intimidating, so powerful, that it can suck the ball into the net. It's the 12th man. It's a cauldron of noise. It's also a building site, permanently. For years, you've had to navigate your way around cranes, scaffolding, and dudes in hard hats. The Anfield Road End expansion was supposed to be your big statement, your final piece of the puzzle. Instead, it was an 18-month-long soap opera. The construction company literally went bankrupt in the middle of the job. You had to start the season with a reduced capacity, like you were a League One side who'd failed a safety inspection. This is who you are. You're a global superpower of football, and you can't manage a simple renovation. This stadium is the perfect metaphor for your entire club. From a distance, it's beautiful, it's iconic, this is Anfield. But up close, it's a mess. Half of it is brand new, shiny, and costs a fortune, and the other half is still the same old structure that's desperately trying to hold the new bit up. You have a 100 mil striker and a 150 mil midfielder, but your entire season can be derailed because a single hamstring in your 34-year-old centre-back just gives up. You have the most sophisticated attacking system in the world, and it all falls apart because you don't have one guy who can just win a tackle. You are a beautiful, expensive, half-finished project, and you're supposed to sit in this unfinished stadium, paying world record prices, and be grateful. You're paying to watch the paint dry. And half the time, it's not even the right colour. You're still here? Fine. Don't say I didn't warn you. 6. The weekly. Is he finished? Referendum. Let's talk about Mo Salah, the Egyptian king, the man who has broken pretty much every record you have, the one truly indisputably world-class player you've got left from the glory days. You should be enjoying every second he's on the pitch, right? Building the statue. But you can't. You physically cannot. Because you don't watch Mohamed Salah to see him play football. You watch him like you're a day trader watching a stock that's about to crash. He's 33. He cuts inside. He shoots. It goes just wide. And the collective groan from the fan base isn't just, unlucky. It's a full-blown financial panic. He's lost a yard. His legs are gone. We should have taken the $200 million from the Saudis. He's finished. Every single match is a referendum on his decline. He just scored his 250th goal for the club against Villa. Was the reaction pure joy? No, it was a sigh of relief. Phew. Okay, he's still viable for another week. You're completely paralysed. You're haunted by the ghosts of legends past. You held on to Steven Gerrard just a bit too long. You sold Suarez at the perfect second. You have no idea which one this is, so you just sit there in a cold sweat, paralysed by the fear of making the wrong call. And this is the real kicker. The 450 million lud you just set on fire? That was supposed to be the post-Salah plan. That was the new wave meant to take over, but Wirtz and Isak aren't taking over. They're hiding. So now you're stuck, relying on a 33-year-old to drag your record-breakingly expensive new toys over the line, all while arguing with a teenager on social media about whether his XG is sustainable. This isn't supporting a club legend. This is high-stakes asset management, and you're the one going bankrupt. 7. You're not a fan. You're a guardian of the ethos. You know, at the end of the day, for most clubs, it's just a game. You win, you're happy. You lose, you're sad. You go to the pub, you move on. But not for you. Oh no, because you're not just a fan. You're a Liverpool fan. This means you're not allowed to just watch the game. You have to feel it. You have to be a guardian of the club's ethos. You have to believe in the Holy Trinity. You have to know the history of Bill Shankly's boot room. You have to, by law, get misty-eyed when You'll Never Walk Alone comes on, even if you're just watching a pre-season friendly against Tranmere. It is exhausting. You can't just say, our defending was bad. No, you have to write a 5,000-word dissertation on how Arne Slot's inverted fullback system is disrespecting the legacy of the 4-3-3. You can't just say, we should buy a player. You have to pull up his advanced metrics on FOTMob and explain why his progressive carries fit the club's philosophy. And the worst part, you're surrounded by millions of other people who are exactly the same. Your online fan base is the most toxic, over-analytical and reactionary pit on the internet. You booed your own legend, Trent Alexander-Arnold. You're already having a meltdown about Arne Slot, the guy who just won you the league. You're not a community. You're a high-strung collective of Anfield historians who've become everything you used to mock. You're not different. You're not special. You don't mean more. You're just louder. And you, my friend, are one of them. Good luck sleeping with that. This is it. The final nail. 8. The audacity of expectation. So let's review. You've just watched your club win the league. A historic, post-Klopp miracle. And you are miserable. You are miserable because your legendary manager left. You are miserable because your new manager, the guy who won you the league, is now having the worst title defence since David Moyes. You are miserable because you spent $450 million and got worse. You are miserable because your local hero, the boy from your own streets, looked at you, shrugged, and left to go win trophies with Real Madrid. You are miserable because your greatest modern legend, Mo Salah, is one hamstring tweak away from retirement. And you are miserable because you're sitting in a half-finished stadium surrounded by the most demanding, historically obsessed fan base on earth. Any sane person would walk away. They'd say, this is no longer fun, this is just pain. I'm going to take up knitting. But you can't. And that is the real, agonising, soul-crushing reason it sucks to be a Liverpool fan. It's the hope. It's the 4-0 against Barcelona. It's the 97-point season. It's the comeback in Istanbul. It's all these miracles that have ruined you. They've poisoned your brain. They've taught you that logic is optional. They've convinced you that 3-0 down at half-time is just a challenge. A Manchester United fan knows their club is a circus, they're in on the joke. An Everton fan knows their life is pain, they've made peace with it. A City fan, well, they don't feel anything, but that's a different problem. You're in purgatory. You're cursed with just enough talent, just enough history, and just enough magic to genuinely believe you should win everything, every single year. So when you don't, when you're 10th in the table, when you lose to Brentford, when you get humiliated by Crystal Palace, it's not just a bad result, it's a personal affront, it's a violation of the natural order. You're not just watching a dip in form, you're watching a betrayal of that entire ethos you're supposed to be guarding. You're not a fan, you're a prisoner of what if. You're in a toxic, codependent relationship with an idea, and no matter how many times it lets you down, no matter how much it costs you, no matter how much it hurts, you'll be right back here next Saturday, 12:30 kickoff, believing all over again. You'll never walk away. And that, my friend, is the real curse. So yeah, it's a special kind of hell, but you'll be back next week, won't you? Of course you will, because this is our year. Subscribe, you absolute glutton for punishment.